It's 10 trivia questions on musicals from the 2010s, courtesy of my friend Jen Wojnar. This is Trivia with Buds. And welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out the show. Today's episode, all about musicals. So get ready to sing along with some songs you may recognize from musicals from the 2010s to the 2020s. I am not a huge musical guy myself. I've seen a handful of movie musicals. I've seen a handful of live musicals. But if you're into these kinds of things, you are going to love today's episode. This is going to be a fun one. Jen Wojnar, a nerdy friend of mine from Burbank, California, who works at Disney, said, hey, this would be a fun topic in our Patreon spreadsheet from about 6 months ago. And I said, Jen, I'll get to it eventually. And here I am, 6 months later, getting to recording your episode. Thank you for your support on Patreon. Guys, if you want to support the show like Jen, go to patreon.com/trivia with buds and sign up for the $1, the $3, the $5, the $7, the $10, the $15, the $20, and the $50 tiers of all different kinds of rewards you can get every single month. There's very cool stuff on there, and we're getting ready to update those for the month of January 2021. So make sure you are on board. Throw a $1 or $2 my way, and I'll send some cool stuff your way very, very soon. All right, we're going to jump into 10 questions on musicals from the 2010s right about now. Here we go. All right, it's 2010's musical trivia, and on this round, we are going to give you 2 songs and the characters who sing those songs, and you're to tell me what musical it is from the last 10 years. Here's question number 1. World's Greatest Dad by Buddy and Never Fall in Love by Jovi. What is that musical with those characters and songs? Number 1, World's Greatest Dad by Buddy and Never Fall in Love by Jovi. And musical number 2, One Perfect Moment by Campbell and We Ain't No Cheerleaders by Danielle, Nautica, and La Cienega. Number 2, One Perfect Moment by Campbell and We Ain't No Cheerleaders by Danielle, Nautica, and La Cienega. Number 3, That's Rich by Meta and King of New York by Race, Catherine, Davey, and Les. Number 3, That's Rich by Meta and King of New York by Race, Catherine, Davey, and Les. Number 4 on your list, we have a song called Impossible/It's Possible by Marie and Ella, and there's Music in You by Marie. Number 4, Impossible/It's Possible by Marie and Ella, and there's Music in You by Marie. Number 5, Anywhere But Here by a character named J.M. Barrie, and We're All Made of Stars by the Ewan Davis Boys. Number 5, Anywhere But Here by J.M. Barrie, and We're All Made of Stars by the Ewan Davis Boys. And number 6, What's Inside by Jenna and Company, and I Love You Like a Table by Ogie, Dawn, and Company. Number 6, What's Inside by Jenna and Company, and I Love You Like a Table by Ogie, Dawn, and Company. Number 7, Belmont Avenue by the Doo-Wop Guys, Calogero, and Ensemble, and These Streets by Lorenzo, Sonny, Rosina, and Ensemble. Number 7, Belmont Avenue by the Doo-Wop Guys, Calogero, and Ensemble, and These Streets by Lorenzo, Sonny, Rosina, and Ensemble. 3 more musical sets of songs and characters to go by. Let's see what you know about number 8. Why Don't We Get Drunk by JD and Ensemble, and Cheeseburger in Paradise by Brick, Tammy, and Ensemble. Number 8, Why Don't We Get Drunk by JD and Ensemble, and Cheeseburger in Paradise by Brick, Tammy, and Ensemble. And number 9, What I Know Now by Miss Argentina, and Ensemble, and Deo, the Banana Boat song by Delia, Charles, Maxie, and Maxine. And number 10, Cooking Montage / Easy Peasy by Daniel and Ensemble, and She Deserves a Real Man by Stewart and Male Ensemble. Number 10, Cooking Montage / Easy Peasy by Daniel and Ensemble, and She Deserves a Real Man by Stewart and Male Ensemble. Those are all your songs and characters from 2010's musicals for Jen Wojnar. We'll be right back in just a second with the answers to those musicals. We are back with the answers to 2010's musicals. Let's see how well you know the musicals of the last decade or so. Number 1, World's Greatest Dad by Buddy and Never Fall in Love by Jovi was Elf. Elf, based on the 2003 movie. There's a great documentary about how that got made on Netflix called The Holiday Movies That Made Us. Go watch that one. It's pretty awesome. Number 2, One Perfect Moment by Campbell and We Ain't No Cheerleaders by Danielle Nautica and La Cienega is Bring It On, the musical, the cheerleading movie comedy made musical. And number 3, That's Rich by Meta and King of New York by Race, Catherine, Davey, and Les. That's Newsies. Newsies, about a bunch of newspaper-selling boys. And number 4, Impossible / It's Possible, Marie and Ella, and There's Music in You by Marie. That is Cinderella, the musical, which at one time starred my friend Keke Palmer as, I think, one of the backup or replacement cast members of the lead role of Cinderella in that movie, Keke Palmer, number 4. Number 5, in that musical is what I meant. Number 5, Anywhere But Here, J.M. Barrie, We're All Made of Stars, the Ewan Davis Boys. That's Finding Neverland. Number 5, Finding Neverland. And number 6, What's Inside, Jenna and Company, I Love You Like a Table, Ogie Dawn and Company. That's Waitress, a pie sellin' and servin' movie made musical. Waitress. Number 7, Belmont Avenue and the Doo-Wop Guys, Caligaro and Ensemble in These Streets by Lorenzo, Sonny, Rosina, and Ensemble is A Bronx Tale, a great movie with Robert De Niro that was made into a musical about 10 years ago. And number 8, Why Don't We Get a Drink, the JD and Ensemble song, and Cheeseburger in Paradise by Brick, Tammy, and Ensemble. That's Escape to Margaritaville, a Jimmy Buffett musical, number 8. Number 9, What I Know Now, Miss Argentina and Ensemble, Deo, the Banana Boat song, Delia, Charles, Maxie, Maxine, and Ensemble. If you know the movie, you could have guessed this one. It's Beetlejuice, the musical, number 9. And number 10, last but not least, Cooking Montage and Easy Peasy with Daniel and Ensemble, and She Deserves a Real Man with Stewart and Male Ensemble. That's Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire. And now you know. 10 questions, 10 answers for Jen Wojnar about 2010's musicals. Hope you had fun trying to figure those out. We have one more thing for you called the Fact of the Day. The Fact of the Day is the last letter added to the English alphabet wasn't Z. It was actually the letter J. Our 10th letter of the alphabet, J, was the last one to be added, just like Hawaii was the 50th state, our last state in the U.S. There you have it. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend about the show, and we'll see you next time for more Trivia with Buds. Cheers!